African countries with the highest gold reserves. Africa is one of the continents that has almost all the human resources available, as she is blessed abundantly in all areas. As precious metal, gold has been used for many thousands of years by many people for pieces of jewelry and as a means of trade. Though the poorest continent, Africa is one of the places where people come for exploitation and business purposes. Blessed with gold, she is indeed enriched and can boast as the third largest gold producing continent in the world. While gold mining is a major driver of socioeconomic development, it contributes positively as an asset class. Gold is also a source of global financial stability. As geopolitical tension in Ukraine jeopardizes, most of the major economic investors are increasingly running towards what they perceive as safe haven assets, such as the dollar, gold, and bonds. And the price of gold has increased extraordinarily from August 2021 to March 2022. The price of gold reached $2,069.25 an ounce, a figure very close to the all-time high it reached in early August 2020. According to the World Gold Council, central banks around the world purchased around 272.9 metric tons of gold in 2020. According to a recent report, it was revealed that around 633 metric tons of gold were mined in 21 African countries in the year 2020 alone. Today, we are exploring the top 10 African countries with the highest gold reserves, so stay connected and please be sure to support our channel by hitting the subscription button on your screen. So, here is the count of the top 10 African countries with the highest gold reserves. Number 10. Mozambique, 3.94 metric tons. Mozambique is blessed with an abundance of natural resources. In fact, there is no deficiency in Mozambique's natural resources. Thus, natural resources helps in boosting up the economy of Mozambique. Gold mining in Mozambique has been sluggish with untapped potential because most of its mining activities are being carried out by artisan miners. However, as the government continues to acquire miners to establish their legal possessions, more regulations to gold mining may lead to a larger scale output. The gold deposits in Tete Province, Manica, and Niger Province have created a global attraction and investors. Thus, the Mozambique gold reserve is expected to extend to 4.32 metric tons by a quarter this year 2022 and to 4.36 tons in 2023 according to Trading Economics global macro models and analyst expectations. The principal natural resources of Mozambique are gold, iron ore, titanium, graphite, bentonite, limestone, and ore. Mozambique also has the world's largest tantalite and iron ore reserves. For example, Moma, one of the world's biggest titanium mineral deposits, is located 160 kilometers from the city of Nampula in Mozambique. Number 9. Tunisia, 6.84 metric tons. Tunisia is an African nation found in the northern part of the continent. The Tunisia economy is considered one of the top economies in the region with a GDP of $46.84 billion with a 3.6% growth rate. The sources of Tunisian economy can be attributed to the proper utilization of the country's natural resources as well as the economic policies put in place by the Tunisian government. Gold mining and gold trade in Tunisia started over a decade ago due to its position and proximity to the two major gold reserves in Africa, Egypt and Morocco, and the European countries. Its port served as a medium for shifting gold from West Africa to Europe, hence thriving through gold exports. Today, the Tunisian Asian gold artisans and smiths have given birth to the thriving and booming artisan industries. Despite that, its gold reserves are still meager. Gold reserves in Tunisia remained unchanged at 6.84 tons in the second quarter of 2022. Some of Tunisia's most important natural resources include the country's beautiful scenery, petroleum, phosphate, lead, barite, iron, and arable land. Number 8. Ghana, 8.7 tons. Gold is one of the major natural resources that have huge contribution to the economy of Ghana. It is a major export commodity for Ghana, with this precious metal bringing in nearly 48% of the country's revenue. The mining industry of Ghana accounts for 5% of the country's GDP, and minerals make up 37% of total exports, of which gold contributes over 90% of the total mineral exports. Ghana is among Africa's largest gold producers, producing 8.7 tons, and West Africa's top producer, surpassing South Africa with 4.8 million ounces of output in 2019. Ghana has over 20 large mining industries scattered across its regions, such as Goldfield, Anglo Gold Ashanti, Newmont Gold Corp, Kinross, Asanko Gold, and Goldfield, to mention a few. No wonder it is described as the Gold City. MiningGlobal.com estimates Ghana's gold reserves to be 1,000 metric tons. Number 7. Mauritius, 12.44 metric tons. The history of this region is connected with mining. The island of Mauritius was created by volcanic activity. Therefore, the mining of ores here has its unique features due to the volcanic origin of the island. Several decades ago, the mining of coral sand in Mauritius was carried out by miners and boat owners on the north and east coast of the island. Mauritius belongs to the very few countries in the world that have experienced uninterrupted economic growth for more than 3 decades. Mauritius' gold reserve stands at 12.44 tons, which is an all-time high. The nation's gold reserves averaged 5.75 tons from 2000 until 2022, but endured a record low of 1.91 tons in the fourth quarter of 2008. Number 6. Nigeria, 21.37 metric tons. Nigeria is endowed with an abundance of mineral resources, and some of the finest stones in the world can be found there. Gold is one of the 7 strategic minerals slated to unlock the potentials of Nigeria's mining sector with an impressive proven reserve. The most valuable mineral in the nation, excluding oil and gas, is gold. According to reports, both inside and outside the region, interest in Nigerian gold has grown. For example, the report showed that gold traders at the Dubai Gold Souk recognized the gold mining in Maru, Zamfara State, northwest of Nigeria. Nigeria maintained its gold reserves at 21.37 tons, ranking 6th on the continent. From 2000 to 2022, the country averaged 21.37 tons with a high of 21.46 tons and a low of 21.37 tons. However, it has been a sad tale of the resource curse for the nation's gold, whose mining, which is typically done by artisans, is marred by a lot of vices despite its potentials to catalyze the nation's economy for growth and development. Number 5. Morocco, 22.12 metric tons. According to the German database statistics, Morocco's gold reserves is estimated to be 22.12 metric tons, making it the 5th largest in Africa. Moroccan gold reserves have notably stabilized at 22.12 metric tons since the second quarter of 2022. representing a 0.01 metric tons increase from the first quarter of the 2018 because gold mining operations continue to discover new reservoirs across the country. The country still has the potential for untapped and undiscovered gold reserves. In February, for example, Stellar African Gold, a Canadian mining company, announced the discovery of a third gold reservoir during an exploratory operation in the Tokar East region, located 80 kilometers from Marrakech. Morocco's mining industry is predicted to expand over the coming years because, according to the Canadian think tank, the Fraser Institute, it is the 8th best country in the world and the best place in Africa for mining investment. The Moroccan mining industry currently contributes 10% of the country's GDP, with phosphates accounting for 90% of profits. Number 4. Egypt. 80.73 metric tons. Egypt is a gold-rich country, and traditionally, techniques were used by ancient miners to thoroughly exploit all commercially viable sources. Egypt has access to the wealth of Numbai in addition to the resources of the Eastern Desert, as evidenced by the ancient name MBW, which is the Egyptian word for gold. Currently, the Northern African country has a gold reserve of 80.73 metric tons. Despite Egypt's large gold reserves and a long mining history that produce elaborate pharaohic gold jewelry, Egypt only has one commercial gold mining operating. Mining has remained stagnant despite increased foreign investment in oil and gas. Number 3. Libya. 117 metric tons. Libya, once a gold reserve powerhouse, now ranks third with an estimated gold reserve of 117 metric tons and fourth among Arab countries in gold reserves. Although Libya has a large gold reserve, the mining industry in Libya does not contribute significantly to the country's economy. Mining resources are concentrated in remote areas with limited access. Nonetheless, the fuel sector, which includes oil reserves with a capacity of 29.5 billion barrels and natural gas reserves with a capacity of 1.31 trillion cubic meters, is the major revenue generating industry. Number 2. South Africa. 174 metric tons. The discovery of gold was the catalyst for South Africa's transformation from an agricultural society to the world's top gold producer. Later, more gold mines that extended for miles underground and farther south and east of South Africa were found, creating an endless treasure of gold, and gold mining became a leading sector of the economy. Over the last 2 decades, South Africa's gold reserves averaged 131.32 tons from 2000 to 2022, with a high of 183.51 tons in the fourth quarter of 2000 and a low of 123.4 tons in the third quarter of 2003. Today, South Africa has the second largest gold reserves in Africa after Algeria, with gold holdings estimated at 125 and producing just about 4.6% of the world's gold. And number 1 on our list today is Algeria, 174 metric tons. Algeria is the biggest and one of the richest nations in Africa. Its hydrocarbon industry is the backbone of the economy, and it is heavily dependent on hydrocarbon revenue. Nevertheless, the nation has massive gold reserves, ranking number 1 on the list of top 10 African countries with the largest gold reserves from 2000 to 2022. With the huge amount of undertapped gold potential in the Atlas Mountains of Algeria, amongst other gold deposits across its region, including the Terek and Mensnessa gold concession in the southern part of the country near its border with Mali. Its gold reserves were on average 173.63 tons, with a record high of 173.64 tons in the second quarter of 2000 and a record low of 173.56 tons in the second quarter of 2019. And currently, the nation boasts gold reserves estimated at 174 metric tons. In Africa, mining is one of the most exploited sectors in over 21 countries. Yet, the benefits of the resources are still meager because a number of mines across the continent are still under direct foreign control. So, the government of Africa should take full charge of mining operations for accurate accountability for the full benefit of these resources to be achieved. Thanks for watching and supporting this channel, and please be part of this community by hitting the subscription button on your screen. Smash the like button and also share to your loved ones. And that's it for today. Till next time.